All I have to say is, ouch. These readings today really struck me deeply this week. When a sieve is shaken, the husks appear. So too does one's fault when one speaks. In the first reading, one's speech discloses the bent of one's mind. Praise no one before he speaks. It is then that people are tested. And over the course of the week, the Lord showed me so many times when this smallest part of my body has gotten me into so much trouble. I remember several years ago, now it's a lot of years ago, 20 or more years ago, when I was in seminary and on my first silent retreat. I remember, like 3 days into the silent retreat, thinking about, I should go to confession as part of this retreat and everything, and started thinking about what I might need to confess. And I went through all the normal things, and I was like, there are a lot of ways I haven't sinned this week because I haven't been able to speak to anyone. Wow, what in a moment of enlightenment. And yet, over those 20 years, I've not gotten a whole lot better at curbing my tongue. And Jesus says, from the fullness of the heart, the mouth speaks. We see what comes out. And I see that my tree needs a lot of cultivation because it's struggling. What are the areas that we think we're doing well in? What are the areas that our mouth speaks judgment on someone else? A short word for the other, a sardonic moment, in anger, speaking lies. What are those areas in our life where our mouth gets us into so much trouble? I know I've got a long way to go, but as I look at it, it almost seems impossible. But the second reading today gives me so much hope. Death is swallowed up in victory. Where, O death, is your victory? Where, O death, is your sting? And the sting of death is sin. And thanks be to God who gives us victory through our Lord Jesus Christ. And this is the good news. As hard as it is to change the way we act, the way we talk, as hard as it is to go deep within and say, I need to change this, Jesus has conquered. And this is the good news for all of us. So I invite you, if you struggle with your speech, if you struggle with sinning in the way you talk to others, in using lewd words, and in speaking ill of one another, even if it's a truth, but it's not a truth that needs to be known. If you struggle with gossip, if you struggle with anything that is a sin of the tongue, I invite you to join me today as we go to communion. And our Lord Jesus Christ touches our tongue. I invite you to join me in inviting Jesus to bring healing to our tongues in what we say, that our words may be used only to build up and not to tear down, that our words may be used for truth and not for lies, that our words may be used for love, not for indifference or hate.